Good morning, guys. Today I'll show you how to put a front drive shaft in a Yukon, but first we gotta get the van out so we can get the truck in. So let's get going. Now that the van is gone, the garage space is open, it's time to fire up that beast. Okay, so now that we have the truck in here, it's dried off a little bit, some water on the ground, no big deal. It's time to do a little bit of maintenance on the drive shaft before we put it back in. So when you're underneath there, it's kind of hard to get to, but these are your universal joints. They have grease certs. Some are greasable, some are not. You can see that. But you could grease those to prevent it from coming apart. They have it on the front and the rear. So we're going to do that to this drive shaft so that way we could prolong the life of the U-joints. The tools you'll need are a 3/8 ratchet, a 7/16 socket, and a extension. And this is your hardware. You just have your straps and your 4 bolts. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, now that we have the drive shaft maintenanced, it's cleaned up, re-greased, ready to go, we have to jack up the truck. So for that, I'm going to be using a jack and then jack stands to support the vehicle for safety. So let's get that going. Now that the truck is secure, it's up in the air, we can put the drive shaft in. So here's the underside. It's kind of dark, but right here is your front differential. Drive shaft hooks there, then hooks back there into your transfer case. So here we are. I have the bottom straps started. Going to tighten the top first because it's a little hard to get to. So I want to get that tight. That way I could work this U-joint in and everything would be tight and ready to go. It's kind of dark, but you can see there's the strap. The other U-joint's on top, or the other bolt is on top. Might be a little hard to get to, but these bottom ones, if you position it right, you could usually get one set that's pretty easy at the bottom. So get these tight, and then we'll come back. Okay, the top ones are tight. Now there's a little gap in between the differential and the U-joint. So to get everything snug, I work the drive shaft forward before I tighten so nothing binds up. So that's why I tighten one side to get it tight against the yoke. Then that way you could pry this other U-joint into the yoke so there's no binding. And then you just tighten like normal and you're set. Might be easier to run them in by hand first, that way You don't have to tighten so much with the ratchet. Okay. Okay, so they're both tight. This bottom one, I used a deep well, which is a longer socket. For the top, I had to use a regular short well socket because the exhaust and the transmission bell housing was in the way. So I'm going to snug up the top, or it already should be snug, but just double check, make sure everything's tight. Yeah, see, I could add a little bit more. You always want to double check once everything's put back together, because you don't know if something's going to move or come loose. So yeah, I was able to tighten these a little bit more, so it makes me feel a little bit better. Okay, I'll check these, and they are tight. There you have your front drive shaft for your four-wheel drive. Runs along back here, and you have this little boot right here. Sometimes it's all the way on, but sometimes you gotta pry it up just to get it to slip over this lip. That's a protective boot to protect the shaft and seal in there from any dirt or anything that can get in there and potentially rip that seal. So the muffler I'm running is a Spintech Super Pro 9000. It's a little race chamber muffler. It just has a little dump on it. And then it goes to the factory white pipe. The cats are still there, but they are empty. The cats are clogged, so I ended up kind of looks like garbage. But ended up hollowing those out, so it's basically a open white pipe into this stock pipe that goes towards the back with a little race muffler. Alright, and there it is. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The install of a front drive shaft on a 2002 GMC Yukon. Now let's take off the jack stands. Make sure it goes into four-wheel drive, and then we'll be set for winter. Let's give that muffler a little sound clip.